Oh, it's time for class.
Class is in session!
Roll call!
Bueller?
I'm gonna be late for class.
Bueller?
Am I hallucinating here? Just what in the hell do you think you're doing?
Late jokes.
You are mine now. You belong to me.
Did you study for the test?
No more complaining. No more Mr. Kimball to go to the bathroom. Nothing. There is no bathroom.
Hello, classmates. Welcome to another episode of Middle Class Film Class Movie Review Edition. I'm your host for today, Tyler.
I'm Joseph.
And I'm Peter.
And on this episode, we are reviewing a fan pick, Lars and the Real. Oh, right. Lars and the Real Girl.
Yeah. That kind of sums up who he is as a person.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I would agree with that assessment. Came out in 2007. Directed by Craig Gillespie.
Gillespie.
All right.
I'll believe you.
All right, I guess.
Whatever you say so.
Whatever you say.
This movie is about a delusional young man that strikes up an unconventional relationship with a doll he finds on the internet. And I think we can all make the assumption
can all
of
relate
what
to that.
kind of doll is.
Made out of felt
Cloth.
cloth.
Starring Ryan Gosling, Emily Mortimer, Paul Schneider. I mispronounced that on purpose.
Okay.
I
I was joking. I know words.
Yes.
Don't worry, guys. I
So-
know Gillespie and Mortimer.
Mortimer.
This was a fan pick by listener Chris.
Yeah.
And
Chris from Geiger's All Grain Review. We're actually, Chris, I know you're probably listening to this right now. Not live, but we want more reviews. We want the good, another review.
Chris?
Some new movie.
Geiger.
Yeah, of while you're blasted off of hops and barley.
yeah. So this is not my first time watching Lars and the Real Girl. Let's just jump into the initial thoughts right now.
Okay.
Joseph, what were your initial thoughts on Lars and the Real Girl? And was this your first viewing of the film?
It was my first viewing of this movie.
Oh, cool.
I've known about it for a long time. Never took the dive and watched it. Because I wasn't sure if I should wait to watch it with Deanna or not. Because I don't know if she would have found it uncomfortable, just the nature of what you would assume about the movie.
Yeah, because it's a sex doll that he buys, and you could assume where it goes from there.
Yeah,
But you might be wrong.
because obviously he would be some sort of interesting character, if not awkward or weird.
Yeah.
From the outside. So I put it on, we watched it together, and I wasn't my expectations going into it wasn't I knew next to nothing about the story other than just the basic that he has a mannequin girlfriend.
Oh, you didn't know it was a sex doll?
No, I just thought it was almost like a mannequin type thing. And
Real doll.
I didn't realize it was specifically a sex doll. Not that matters.
Not that there's anything wrong with that.
Not that
There's nothing wrong with that, but
not that it matters to the story, other than the fact that it's a joke in the movie.
Yeah.
That she's anatomically correct. But yeah, I think that this was a really wholesome, sweet story, and that was well made and well acted. From pretty much all fronts, I think. I would say that the brother, the husband, was the weaker of everybody.
Acting wise, or just as a character?
Acting wise. And not that he was bad. It was just
Paul Schneider.
Gosling, I feel took the weight of most of the acting along with Emily Mortimer.
Got him. I really like Emily Mortimer though. She's everything I see her in. She's very charismatic, very charming.
Yeah. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it quite a bit. I like the story and how it evolved, and the doctor relationship and how she sort of is doing the checkups on Bianca, the name of the doll.
Yeah.
But is really just it's a front to just get him to come in and talk to him about her, and the whole town accepting it and getting in on it was really sweet and wholesome, and really buying into it. I feel like without this movie, Shutter Island wouldn't exist
Why is that? What is that?
because it's almost the same plot. Because
Because they're all. I get it. They're all like.
yeah, they're all
in
it's
on
all an illusion.
Okay, I get it.
to like maybe this will help resolve the issue.
Oh, Patricia Clarkson's also in Shutter Island.
Oh my god. Oh yeah, she is. That's crazy.
She plays Rachel too.
That's insane. But yeah, I enjoyed it. Me and Deanna both really enjoyed it. I liked the setting. I liked the acting, the directing, and just the wholesome nature of everything. Because I was expecting some sort of awkwardness, like more uncomfortableness to this movie, but there really isn't any moments where I was like, I felt like cringing or anything like that, because that's kind of what I was expecting a little bit. But it was more of like a dramedy than anything.
It's a good way to characterize
And
it.
yeah, it was delightful.
Cool. Pete, first watching of Lars and the Real Girl?
Yeah, I've seen this a number of times.
All right.
This is a movie that Brianna has on her like needs cheering up playlist. Like if she's in a little glum mood, she'll put on Lars and the Real Girl, and just she says that it reminds her that there's good in the world, but people just choose not to be good in the real world. Like if everybody could be like the town in Lars and the Real Girl.
Why isn't this the town?
Yeah. If everybody could be like Matt Damon and Ben Affleck's The Town.
Yeah.
I don't think Matt Damon's in that. Matt
Is he-
Damon in
is
The
he?
Town?
No, I don't think he's in the
It's
town.
Ben Affleck, Jeremy Renner, and Casey Affleck, I think.
I don't know who's in it.
Anyways.
That's the one with the nuns.
Yeah, the nun masks.
The Boston cop, and he sees what's going down. He's like, turns his head.
Yeah. So this is not the town. This is Lars and the Real
Well,
Girl.
why isn't it the town?
But the town in
Well,
this,
that's Chris Geiger.
the town in this Canadian small town in this movie is really sweet. And the thing that I really love about it is that there's so many opportunities for people to be assholes to him, to Lars.
So you're waiting for it, kind of.
Yeah, you're expecting someone's gonna like they're all being nice, and then one person comes up and is like, she's just a fake doll, right? You're a fucking psychopath, and there's no one like that there, which is cool.
It happens once with the brother.
I was just gonna say the brother does it, and Lars doesn't even respond to it. It's like it just didn't even pierce the veil.
Yeah.
So,
I want to get into that scene, but please.
Okay, we can do that later. But the good-natured ribbing that does come from some of the people is when Lars is not around, and it's not necessarily mean-spirited. It's just like, well, once we cut this, it ain't growing back.
Yeah.
And they all kind of get a chuckle out of it,
Yeah.
and then they go back to the delusion or whatever.
Yeah.
But it's really competently made, really well made, very sweet, wholesome, pulls the heartstrings. It's like almost like a warm hug in a way. But at the same time, that he's going through this because of some sort of past trauma, and that in itself is sad. But they don't really spend a whole lot of time
Clearing it up.
really getting into that. It's just like, why is it happening? I don't know. We left him out to cold, out in the cold. And for whatever reason, he had to glom onto this to find some sort of normalcy in his life or some sort of reason for being or something.
Yeah.
And I think that's relatable in life when you get to a point where you think,
I should buy a sex doll. Yeah.
no, it's more like, no, what am I doing? Am I doing anything worthwhile? Am I nurturing relationships that are like long-term edifying relationships? What's my purpose? And if you have children, it's almost always the children. That's your future. If you don't, which Lars doesn't, the three of us don't. It's like, what is your purpose?
Of what?
Children.
Oh, yeah. I have a dog and a cat.
Yeah. That's going to be your purpose for the next 10, 15 years.
15
Yeah, that's it. But it's like, what is your purpose? So, I mean, I feel like that there is some, something part of that resonates, I think, with the human psyche in a very deep existential way. But I just, ultimately, Gosling's great. Emily Mortimer's great. I did like the brother. I thought he was pretty solid. Patricia Clarkson as the doctor is super, super interesting. Like she knows just what to do. She's so cool. She's so chill, and it's like she backdoors the treatment to him in a way that you're just like it seems natural to him. It feels good. It doesn't feel malicious.
No.
And then the girl at his office that is really into Lars, but he just ignores her because he's awkward and autistic or whatever. He's she is charming as fuck. She's super charming and just sweet as all get out and everything. And as I was looking through for trailers and stuff like this for the show and whatever, looking at the trivia and stuff, there's a lot of there's an entire article that I read on this about from the Autism Anthropologist website, all about Lars and the character and all this stuff. And I was like, I didn't read him as particularly like on the spectrum or anything like that. He just seemed like he was maybe going through some shit and a little introverted. But I think that's how he was specifically written as.
Well, he doesn't like to be touched.
Yeah,
which is a common thing among people with autism.
Correct. But at the same time, he overcomes it for the girl.
Yes.
In a way. It's almost like, so I took
you
that.
You can beat it.
Yeah. You can beat autism. That's the takeaway from this movie.
It is curable.
I just take this pill, suck it down.
Get a sex doll.
Yeah. This is the recipe. This is how you do it. This is how you beat it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's really good. Yeah, just like a warm hug, this movie.
I agree with that analogy. It is like a warm hug.
Good.
Even though it's covered in snow.
Even though it feels like like on an atmosphere level, it's very cold. Like I feel like you can feel the coldness. Maybe it's because we're watching it and it's in the middle of winter.
Well, it's also snowing there.
And
he lives in the garage.
Yeah.
Everybody's
bundled up all the time.
I related to that.
Maybe it's because I don't know. It's because we're cold. Because the movie's cold. I don't know.
Yeah, that's what. This was not my first time watching it as well. I've seen it. I think like one other time, but it really stuck with me the first time I saw it because it was such a interesting concept of a movie that I didn't really imagine a movie being made about the scale of the town, like supporting Lars emotionally. That was a little foreign to me. But it was done really well. It wasn't like a ham-fisted like Hallmark sort of esque story with like a unique twist of him falling in love with an inanimate object. But I really, in some ways, I could relate to Lars in the way where you can latch onto something and then everyone kind of looks at you like side eyes you and like, what is going on here? But I really like the wholesomeness of it. And Paul Schneider's character, who plays the older brother, I thought he was supposed to be like the guy who's grounded in reality.
Yeah.
But it comes from a good place though. Like it's not like he's like ignorant to Lars's issue. It's that he doesn't want his brother, like he's afraid of the reputation that his brother might receive in a negative way. Like he's trying to shield him from that.
Can I say something about this, even though you're giving your thoughts?
Go ahead.
There's a line that the doctor says when they say you need to play along with it, and him and his wife basically agreed to it. And he says to the doctor, well, everyone's going to laugh at him. And she says, and you. Yeah. And I think that's
powerful.
That's a bigger part of it, is that it's almost like, is he concerned that people are going to laugh at his brother or him and the family? So, like he's dragged into it with him.
Well, I mean, I'm just going to say, I loved it upon second viewing. So let's get into it. But cool. So let's jump off on that point where she says, is the concern is like, are you going to be embarrassed or are you scared of him being embarrassed? And I took that as a legitimate concern from the doctor's point of view of making him think, are you doing this for yourself or are you doing it for the protection of your own brother? And he emotes it in a way where it gets him thinking. He's like, am I doing it for myself? Or
you can tell that one stung a little bit.
Yeah. Which is, I mean, like, it was kind of like a subconscious narcissistic sort of like, concern for his brother.
No son of mine is going to be gay.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's
like, what do you care? Well, then, no, I have a gay son. I feel like a lot of people who are like not accepting of their children for whatever reasons is because of that, because they don't want to be seen as the guy with the gay son or whatever. And they might have been taught that was bad or whatever. But I feel like it's more about them than the actual the child or the loved one or whatever.
Well, and
gay.
Tyler, I accept you for anything that you are.
Okay, well,
Even
thank
if you are my son.
Oh, well,
Son.
that would be concerning. But I think as the story progresses on, it's more of like it's a growth on every single character that's put on screen. Like everyone's growing with Lars. Like you go back to the church meeting scene where they're introducing, because I guess everyone goes to the same church.
Yeah,
And
they're
It's a really small town.
that's pretty common, especially if you are part of a church. A lot of times, like the tight knit circle that you kind of surround yourself with are people from the church.
Yeah.
They're like minded. You see them every week, anyways. So might as well.
Yeah, and
God, I would hate that.
Maybe that's why they are all. No one really is like being a total prick to them because it's such a small town. They all know him anyways. They like.
There's like a little bit of hesitance when he first goes to church with
absolutely.
Bianca.
Yeah.
Everyone's like kind of like trying to figure it out.
yeah.
But,
I mean, that's
but it never goes to that point of like look at this loser here.
yeah.
Well,
Even when they go to the party, I was like, oh god, something's gonna happen,
That's what I was thinking too.
and something does happen, but not. But from he's not even a part of the conversation.
Yeah.
it's really nice that they all say, "Okay, here they come." Like they're all waiting for it. They prepped them all ahead of time.
Yeah.
But imagine we were to. You guys should come over next weekend for the podcast, and my head's shaved.
Should we say anything?
What would you think? Yeah,
I'd be like looking at your
Well,
shoelaces.
Jick for the red laces.
Yeah.
Any new SS tattoos?
You're wearing a cut off tee, sleeveless tee.
I'd be like, okay, yeah, I let's do this.
What the fuck does that mean? Are we having sex now?
All right, let's do
Why
this.
does it have to go? Why does it have to go down?
You said it.
Are we talking like to the skin?
I legitimately thought
Mr.
Tyler wanted to have sex with me. He winked at me when he said that.
He had
said,
this
"All right,
look in his eye.
So,
All right, I guess we're doing this.
yeah, wink." No. Like, what would you think about me in that moment? Is what I'm
Like
saying.
if I came in and I saw that you had a sleeveless shirt and a shaved head.
just the shaved
just
head.
a shaved head.
Um,
Like what happened when Britney Spears shaved her head?
I mean, my first reaction, I would be
I would
like,
say leave Pete alone.
I, I would say, wow, decided to get a haircut.
Yep.
And they're like, all right.
I would be like, lice?
What?
I like how they.
No, she cut my hair.
So you would just give us no answers?
Yeah, no answers.
Oh,
What
okay.
would you think?
But
What would I think? I would just.
would it just be the extent like, oh, I wanted to?
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, I would
wouldn't be
reserve.
that.
I would reserve no judgment or anything. I
feel like a head shave isn't
you
that crazy.
He shaved his head.
Okay, now what if it was Brianna that shaved her head?
I mean, I would ask why.
I don't know if I would address it.
I think to a degree, like with a guy, it's a little different because there's a societal norm to
Yeah.
shaving your head, and also your hair grows back sooner.
Yeah.
But like Brianna's got like
Yeah.
very like
Long
characteristically long red hair. That's
Yeah.
like one of the things that people notice about her and remember about her. And then she cut 6 inches off of it. Actually, it was like more like 8 inches off of it. It's the first time she got a haircut after her mom died.
Mm-hmm.
And her mom used to be the one that cut her hair. Her whole life is the only person who's ever cut her hair.
Yeah.
She went to a barber, hairstylist, and they fucking butchered it. She asked for like 2 inches off in layers. They cut like 8 inches off and no layers. Just fucked it. I still
They
thought
bleached it.
Yeah, I still thought
And
it
they
looked,
bleached
I
it.
still thought it looked good, but it's not what she wanted, and she was in tears for weeks and all this stuff, and it was this huge traumatic thing because of it. If she were to if I were to come home from work tomorrow or Monday and she's got a shaved head, I would think something's happening with her.
Yeah.
She's going through something.
I mean, especially if it didn't tell you.
Exactly.
I mean-
so it's like, and I wouldn't necessarily judge her or whatever, but I would be concerned, and it would be hard to not like wipe the shock off my face, which is how the people were. Yeah.
What?
Wait, fucking sex doll. It's that's how they
Like,
were.
what is this?
The first instance in the church when everybody sees them for the first time, it's like we've been warned. we know something's happening, but you're still just looking at this sex doll in a wheelchair in the middle of the church.
Yeah. I mean, I think, they do go into a little bit in depth of his trauma.
Tiny
Because
bit.
Paul Schneider's character, he has a tremendous amount of guilt for leaving home and leaving Lars with his
Gus
dad.
and Lars. Named after directors, I guess. Lars von Trier, Gus Van Sant.
I guess.
And
I assume that it's either like very northern, like Wisconsin area, Minnesota, or southern Canada, because those are very like Norwegian,
Also,
Nordic names. Also,
a name like Lars. Have you ever met anybody named Lars? Know anybody named Lars?
No.
Not
Personally?
personally. No.
I'm trying to think of a Lars who's a normal person.
Well, they're just Scandinavian.
Not like, I mean, like, but it's just like every known person that I know whose name is Lars is not a normal person. Lars Ulrich, Lars von Trier.
That's true. Just the two,
Yeah.
and the rest.
Yeah.
And the rest.
Lars from a cartoon. I think it's from Ed and Eddie. No.
So, I mean, like, there's the implication that the father was, the mother died, and that was like
Giving
a big
birth.
thing, giving birth to Lars.
Yeah.
And so Lars bears that guilt on his conscience.
Mm-hmm.
And then also Paul Schneider's character, he bears a lot of guilt for leaving the house and leaving Lars to his very depressed dad. And I think the implication is that Lars was left in isolation for far too long, didn't develop any social skills, and he was able to function enough to get a job, and then his brother blows into his hometown again, and allows him to live in the garage. And
Don't they? Well, isn't it like the dad dies? They take over the former house.
Yes,
and then they move there together.
Yeah.
But he takes the garage.
yeah.
Something like that.
I mean that would be my move though too. Like I would.
There's so many of the small bits in the movie too that just lend to the realism of the universe, because he tells his brother and sister-in-law for the first time about Bianca. He met somebody. He's like, well, she's conservative. We shouldn't
Religious.
She shouldn't sleep in the garage with me. And like, oh yeah, she can stay in here. It's like, oh, in the pink room. And it's like, we never seen the pink room before. You don't know anything about it, but it's just like, if you've lived in the house your whole life, you're like, oh, it's the pink room. Yeah.
It's a pink room.
I feel like that's a really small little detail that I caught this time around, that I'm like, oh yeah, it just seems like they've been there forever.
Yeah. I think that one of the weirder parts about this movie is that I can't really see, like, I know it's a small town, but like it must be a really, really small town, because knowing human behavior now, I don't think that situation would go over very well. There would definitely possible violence and vandalism towards that sex doll.
Depends. They're in Canada, so they're all nice.
It says
That's not true.
it says the film is set in the U.S. state of Wisconsin.
Yeah, see, like Wisconsin's like the number one like
anti-sex doll.
No, it's like they have more alcoholics per capita in the whole continental United States.
What do you have against alcoholics? Are you saying alcoholics are all bad?
Yes, I'm just I'm just saying
There's that
that.
Self-loathing again.
So it takes place in Wisconsin?
I don't know. I mean, that's just what it says on the Wikipedia.
I mean, I can see that, but like I just feel like it's fantasy at that point, because there's, as wholesome as it is
It's a
have,
fantasy.
as wholesome as it is to, have this loving community support this very isolated person. I mean, like I doubt
sort of
You don't
weirdo.
think there are
I doubt-
any small towns out there that
No.
would support
Nope.
this? None. Zero.
I honestly think that most small towns are worse than the big city.
Yeah.
When it comes to this sort of stuff,
I mean, yeah.
like all the Hallmark Christmas things where they go to the small town and everyone accepts whoever it is. Like,
No.
yeah,
We're all
'cause
nice.
he's white.
Yeah.
We're all Republican.
And I'm pretty sure that Lars didn't apply for that job. They just gave it to him. There's like, hey, can you just
What
give us-
job?
The job that he works in the movie, like at the desk job. I don't even know what he does.
Oh, the office job.
Why would he not be able to get a job?
Look at him.
What the fuck does that mean?
You got a job.
I hired you.
Look at you.
Let's not let's not flip this on me.
Actually, you've had a couple office jobs.
All right.
Let's dive into this a little bit.
No, please don't.
You know, the thing that
If you can get a job, Lars can get a job.
all we're saying is you're just like the other guy in the movie. Oh, is Chris in the chat?
You waved.
Hey, Chris, we're talking about your movie that was co-opted by Brianna.
I'm just saying, if the town is willing to accept him for being in a relationship,
Finish. I have something to say after you're done.
oh, go ahead. No,
Okay.
Finish your sentence.
it's a fantasy world that this movie is living in. There's there is no goddamn way that this small town would support this person and their delusion of being in a relationship with a anatomically correct sex doll.
Okay. Angry Otter has something to disagree with you with.
That's okay.
There was a small town, and I remember this. There was a small town where all the residents learned how to sign in secret for a deaf resident who felt alienated.
Okay, I am not seeing the connection between someone who has...
It's a small town where the entire town got together, learned sign language to be able to make this deaf resident feel included.
One single person included.
Okay, so one instance of a small town doing something...
It's not a fantasy.
That should have been.
It's not a fantasy. Not a fantasy.
Okay.
I do feel, though, that like this would be the...
Is it outlandish? Yes. But it's not unrealistic.
All right. Okay.
I think that by and large, more now it feels like they're like the evil of the world is taking over sometimes. And honestly, I still like to believe that there's more good than bad in the world. It's just that the bad is louder.
Yes.
And that we're constantly fed rage bait from social media and 24-hour news websites and 24-hour news channels and whatnot, that it's like there has to be something. Rage gets clicks, it puts you in this spiral or whatever. And it's like, for the most part, it's like, I think people are pretty good. If one of my friends were to show up, I'm not going to use Tyler this time because I'm tired.
I knew you were going to point at me.
I'm not going to use you this time.
But of the three of us,
Okay, let's just use producer Justice. So producer Justice shows up one day and
He lives here.
Yeah, he shows up to the house one day and he's got a sex doll with him, fully clothed. He's not getting handsy or anything. All right, let's
he's carrying her like sideways.
Yeah. You never see him carry her into the room. I know she's in a wheelchair, but like the first scene, she's not in the wheelchair.
No.
Does he carry her sideways like that? Does he like
No,
he carries her like a bride.
Does he
like a
walk?
bride,
Does
yeah.
he walk her like an action figure? Doot, 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 doot. But and he shows up with this real doll.
Yeah.
What do we do? Do we play along, or do we say, are you? Because not only is it he's saying that I have a sex doll. He's not saying I have a sex doll. He's saying this is my girlfriend who I met on the internet, whose parents died when she was a kid.
Yeah.
He
conjured up this whole backstory for her.
It's a complete delusion. So if one of your friends is delusional, do you try to snap them out of the delusion, or do you play along with it?
I guess they actually bring that up. If he was the doctor said, is he a danger to himself or others? And they said, no, he wouldn't hurt a fly. And then she's like, okay, well, it's going to run its course. So just go along with it because he might snap. And
Chris says he likes it how we're all pretending that your waifu pillow isn't just out of frame.
Shut up. But I think what also helps too was the wife, she was pregnant at the time. So there's like that maternal, I know not all pregnant women have like this perceived maternal instinct, but you can infer that
Let's assume most of them.
You can
most of them.
You can infer that she had this sort of maternal instinct to help Lars, like baby him and like just try to get him out into the real world.
I don't know if it's even babying.
Well, she tackles him to get him to come to dinner.
What, you don't tackle babies?
No, you don't. You push on their soft spot. It's funny because her approach is very like that. It's a maternal instinct. It's a kindness.
You don't tackle your kids.
Yeah, it's a kindness that she's trying to like smother him with kindness, where the brother's just like he just wants to be alone.
Just let him do his thing.
Just let him do his thing.
His brother kind of doesn't want to deal with it.
Yeah. In the beginning, there's definitely like this sort of attitude of where Just out of sight, out of mind. Like, he goes to work, he has his own car, like, he's fed, he's healthy. Yeah, just let him to his own devices.
Physically healthy.
Yeah, because when he's at dinner the first time, he like doesn't eat anything, barely. And she goes into the kitchen, and then Gus, right?
Yeah.
Is like Karen's worried about you. I say you're fine. Are you fine? He goes, yeah, I'm fine. See, I told her.
Yeah.
I told her that. Women, am I right?
It's almost like if you had a friend who was a drug addict and they were hiding the fact that they were a drug addict, and you just ignored it forever and you never said anything, and you're just like, they come over high and you're just like, this is fine, no big deal. We don't need to talk about it. It's like it's almost your duty as a friend to say, don't come over to my house if you're high.
Yeah,
you're ruining your fucking life. There's a reason why we have rules on the podcast about, drinking, because the podcast is going to suck. But it's like, I don't want to show up to the podcast freaking
learn from the earlier episodes.
I know there were some rough episodes there. We're just like, okay, we can put the kibosh on it, but it's like kibosh, yeah. But it's like same thing goes in a way for depression or sadness or whatever. It's like there's something to be said about just accepting your friend that's like an Eeyore. Eeyore is just a sad, kind of depressed, sack, and you're just like, he's Eeyore. So
you're not trying to change him.
Yeah, we're not going to change you. But at some point, if it becomes destructive, I think it is your duty as a friend to be like, hey, snap out of it. Let's go.
Yeah.
Let's go to the park. Let's go to the park or something. Or hey, we're gonna. I know you don't normally doesn't seem like something we do together, but you want to go to like Great America or something?
You want to go to Chuck E. Cheese?
You want to go karting? It's like that's something fun to do with your friend. And if they're depressed, maybe that's what you need to do.
Yeah, I mean, I think that
maybe you need to play along with their delusions.
That's true.
The go karting's actually fun.
Go karting is fun.
It makes me sick every time I go.
Why does it make you sick?
It's the driving in circles, I think.
The motion sickness.
Yeah.
No, well,
I have a fucked up stomach.
I think I can relate. I think that the doctor was correct, though.
It's more like a puke feeling to me. Yeah.
I think the doctor was correct, though, in saying that just go along with it, because I think she read Lars and thought to herself, he will get out of this eventually. This isn't a permanent sort of ordeal that's gonna be going on throughout his whole life.
I would imagine if during the course of her kind of surreptitious treatment that she had with him, if she felt that it was going a different direction, that she might change course and say, okay, we need to actually get him some help. Like if he had like malicious thoughts or was like really going into another, is like, and after this, I'm going to become the president of England.
I think there was,
and you're like, okay, what the fuck?
I think
that was a big leap.
Yeah.
I think there was probably like a contingency plan, like if things were to go south. But I did like the sort of like backdoor, as you said it, therapy sessions. And she did it so brilliantly.
I know, very slick.
Like, oh, well, she has a condition. She needs to rest. No, join me in my office.
Yeah, come hang in my cool-ass office.
Yeah.
Nice office.
I know, for a small-town practitioner.
I know. Like,
it's the only, she only had one patient room.
Yeah.
She's she's like Jeff Daniels, Jeff Daniels in Arachnophobia.
Yeah.
Except for a really nice office.
Yeah.
The other thing, too, is like if Lars was kind of a cunt, maybe no one would want to be like, kind and understanding to him, but he's honestly,
he was a bro.
He's just, This is my new side bitch, Bianca. She's tight. I'm thinking about asking her to pay to get some breast implants.
Well, they tried to, his coworkers and like his other friend, they try to make him like a little bit misogynistic out of the party. Yeah, is she flexible? You know what I mean?
I thought he was going to be defensive, but he just smiles.
Me too.
It's like, yeah, she is.
I feel like the reaction to that felt like his reaction to his brother saying that she's not real. Like he just blocked that part of it out.
Yeah.
Well, he basically put his own story into the doll, and his own.
His parents died when he was young, so did hers.
And is just like is religious, is conservative. Although they don't. I mean, he goes to church.
She's
in
shy.
A small town.
She's shy, just like he is.
And
he's flexible.
Yeah, he's flexible.
He's anatomically correct. You know what I'm saying?
That's
and
true.
And then when it's like when the doctor's like, he's the one who's doing it. Like he's the one who's just like telling the story like of Bianca. Like it's all him. That like her timeline is
All him.
his
Yeah.
timeline, and him like by the end when she is dying.
Great ending, but also
That-
great wrap up.
That is like him as him getting over it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But like
his trauma is done.
almost like it's almost like you're physically seeing him get over it.
Yeah.
As opposed to like the internal battle where
Yeah.
you get over it.
He's finally curing himself of the autism.
Yes.
And also, the
The autism is dying.
the community, well, because like towards, I would say, like at the peak of the movie, that when they start getting into arguments, Bianca and Lars, he's yelling at her in the pink room because they were supposed to play Scrabble, but she
canceled on him.
canceled.
We're supposed
on
to play Scrabble.
yeah. And then the older lady comes up to the car and says, "I don't like the way you talking to her.
Yeah.
You better shape up." I like that because they are also holding him accountable to like
Yeah.
his behavior, and that also in turn helps him grow matures as a person. And so, like you said, like you can definitely see on screen like the growth of this very awkward, isolated man blossom into a somewhat functioning human.
Yeah. I mean,
I don't know how like his relationship with the girl is gonna go after the events that transpired, but
I also like how like she and possibly the whole town is like their hobby is bowling because that's like the only thing to do.
Yeah.
They all
true.
have the gloves.
Yep.
It's like gotta invest in a good glove.
yeah,
Hell yeah.
When I worked at a bowling alley, I never got a glove, but I got shoes.
nice. Did you
Shoes.
steal them?
No, I bought them.
Oh, you bought them?
When I say I got them, it's usually implied that I didn't.
She stole them.
Yeah, I didn't commit grand larceny.
I didn't know it'd be grand larceny if it's stealing a pair of bowling
It wasn't like
shoes.
zero from holes.
really expensive
She
shoes.
stole Rick Fox's shoes.
I wanted to play a clip. This is probably the most wholesome scene in the entire movie, in my opinion, and it's most closely like mimics reality. This is when the old ladies come over and are knitting. That's the scene.
Yeah.
There's times when you lose a loved one and you're like, just part of you wants to just be alone and retreat from life. And other parts of you feels good when someone comes over and they're like, I'm just going to come and be with you.
Yeah.
I'm just going to spend time with you. Just sit.
Just sit.
Yeah. And that, I mean, part of that's like just having a really close friend that you can just hang out with and do nothing is great. Yes. It's sad. But like they said, that's life. Everything all at once. Sometimes it's like an avalanche of shit, trauma.
Avalanche of
sadness.
what?
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, I think this movie definitely, if you're a smart person, it'll get you thinking about the human condition.
If you're a dumb person.
This will fly over your head.
Oh.
You'll be like, this is just some guy with a stick, though.
Why does that person sound like you?
I don't know.
Your impression of yourself.
Do I really sound like that? I think.
No, that's just your impression of yourself.
I don't know.
We also didn't talk about how this is the same director as I, Tonya,
Oh, yeah.
Cruella, Pam and Tommy,
Yeah, Craig Gillespie.
Dumb Money,
Yeah.
Beyonce and Verizon,
I was gonna-
Super Bowl
he did
58,
a lot of commercials, yeah.
Apple iPhone, The Waiting Room, Apple Watch series, Hard Knock.
Yeah, I saw the name on like, oh shit, this is like before he did all those super fun movies. He did a sweet and sad movie.
So this movie came out in 2007. I feel like it
Post
kind
9/11.
Pre-economic crash of
Yes.
2008.
Yeah.
Right in the sweet spot.
Right. Yeah. I feel like this movie came out like, and it got lost in the ocean of all of like the quirky indie movies that were coming out, like in that sort of time frame. And it's a shame because this is a really standout movie that gets characterized as the quirky Tumblr-esque kind of movies.
He got overshadowed by the number 23. Also came out that year.
the number 23.
And James Wan's Dead Silence.
Oh god, that movie. I just feel like it gets lumped into a category of a certain kind of movie that it doesn't deserve to be in, and
Well, yeah, I think it's what Joseph said. When you see the movie, you kind of have an expectation. It's either gonna be more of like a psychological movie, kind of like The Voices, or possibly like a sex comedy sort of thing. If you know it's a sex doll, I think the title's pretty ingenious because it's Real Girl, but the company's name is Real Doll.
Yeah,
Real Doll is obviously a copyright, so you can't call it Lars and the Real Girl, Real Doll. But Real Girl,
I mean, they use it in the movie.
And it really uses it immediately evokes exactly what it is.
yeah.
So I don't know. I think it's just all.
And plus, Lars and the Real Girl
Sweetheart
rolls
of a
off the
movie.
tongue a little bit more than Lars and the Real Doll.
Lars and the plastic fuck toy.
Yeah, that well, I think that might work out better.
Yeah.
And Lars is supposed to be 27 in this movie, and he does not look 27 at all. He definitely
Looks like a baby.
He definitely looks older, but I don't know. I don't have a. It's hard to say because I've seen 27-year-olds who look older than they are.
Oh, also, when he's out in the woods, he's singing out in the treehouse, and he's singing that song. The L is for the way you look at me. No, it's not. But when he was singing, because he sings in obviously he sings in La La Land, but he sings Blue Valentine, and he has that band, and it's like multiple movies where he is showing off his pipes.
Yeah.
You know?
He's a Mouseketeer after all.
But when he was singing that one specifically, part of it was like, it kind of sounds like Winnie the Pooh. When he was singing.
Oh, because he had the high, he was
the higher pitched version.
The falsetto.
It was like kind of raspy and whispery, and it kind of had that Winnie the Pooh vibe to it.
Oh, bother.
Yeah. Almost like Winnie the Pooh was singing.
That's like, I didn't think about that. Yeah.
And then the Talking Heads make a cameo in the movie.
Yep. I was going to say Gosling brought Talking Heads tape to play during the filming of the party. He thought it would be cool. Loved the fact that the Talking Heads were this movie. I love that band.
Mm-hmm.
When he's reading to Bianca, it's an excerpt from Don Quixote, which is famously about a person with delusions.
Mm-hmm.
Extreme sensitivity to touch is called hyperesthesia.
Hyperesthesia?
Hyperesthesia. Yeah. To eliminate the possibility of any accusations of having sex with the doll, Bianca was custom ordered without any genitalia.
Wait.
Is what it says in this trivia, which is wrong.
Yeah,
because it says she's anatomically correct.
And don't they look?
Yeah, the wife looks.
The wife and the friends look.
For the actual movie. For the actual production.
Okay.
Because they did have to order it from Real Doll.
Oh,
so they ordered one with no genitalia, so that there could be no.
So no assistance.
You sure no one had sex with this between takes?
Someone's like,
with or without any genitalia is not going to stop me.
I need to take Bianca. I need to take Bianca into the makeup room really quick. Close the door.
How is anybody supposed to know that?
What?
That fact, other than by reading this? How is
someone on the crew?
Probably someone on the crew.
So it's just for the crew?
Yeah.
Hey guys, just so you know, not anatomically correct.
This one's off limits.
So don't even try.
The community doll's that one.
The community doll.
We got another one though.
It's the redhead over there.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Her name is Sasha.
She's next to the craft services. Let's see. The Real Doll had 9 different faces, which were used to show a sort of evolution of the character.
Like stop motion.
The doll starts with a face with heavy makeup on, but later uses a more natural looking face without makeup.
She looks very whorish when she first when she first arrives.
Yeah.
And also the doll later becomes having a greenish tint to it to reflect her failing health.
Oh, really?
Oh.
The whole movie was pretty bleak looking, so
Yeah.
it was hard to tell.
That's Wisconsin for you.
Yeah. Yep.
So it was definitely North Wisconsin.
It's Fargo-ish.
Yeah.
That's North Dakota.
I wouldn't know. I haven't been to the eastern United States before.
Either have I.
Yeah.
I also wasn't alive during the
That's in the
Civil War,
Midwest.
but I know a lot about it.
Oh.
Midwest? Like North? I just call it the North.
Well, I know, but Tyler, you said I've never been to the eastern side, but it's in the Midwest.
Oh, well, I mean, it's east.
I've never been to anything
east.
east of Utah.
I was going to say, it's east to me.
Well, everything is east of California.
Yeah. So there you go. Eastern side of the United States.
Yeah. the best coast and the rest.
The best.
The rest coast.
Yeah.
I got nothing else to say about it.
Yeah. I mean, it's a really solid, wholesome movie. And yeah, definitely we'll revisit it at some point in my time. So let's.
How many times have you seen it?
At the top of the show, I said this was my second time.
Oh, second time.
Yeah.
Okay.
So let's grade Lars and the Real Girl. Joseph, what do you give Lars and the Real Girl?
It's a solid A movie. Yeah, really good. Really, like, not overly emotional, but it hits a little bit in some moments. I mean, I have no complaints about it whatsoever. There's nothing I can say detracted from anything. The setting was good. It felt real. Like the way it was shot didn't feel staged or like a set, and the dialogue didn't feel forced or unrealistic. It just felt like people coming together to help this one person out.
Yeah.
And realistic reactions, I think, for the most part, to like the initial shock of seeing something like that. But yeah, I mean, there's nothing to. It's
hard to detract.
It's kind of, in a way, a coming of age story. Even though he is of age already, but like he is himself like maturing in a way and coming into a new age of his own life. And Deanna also really loved it, and it was a pleasant experience.
All right, Pete, what do you grade Lars and the Real Girl?
Like, I feel like I should give it an A-, just because it's not. I don't feel like it's something to really write home about. I'm not going to like scream from the rooftops or tell everybody I know to go watch it.
Yeah.
But for a place in time, it feels like a really kind of an essential type of movie you should kind of keep in your back pocket.
Yeah.
If you feel you need that like uplifting feeling of hope, or just like a warm hug from a character who's in a bad place, and you want to get yourself out of that sort of bad place too.
Yeah.
Putting yourself into this movie is a great place to start. And it's not all butterfly and sunshines. It is dreary. It is cold. But ultimately, you just have like the goodness, the best part of humanity on full display, even if it doesn't always feel that way in real life. It can feel like that here. So hard to say it's bad. So I'm probably going to go A also.
Yeah, I would agree with that sentiment as well. I'm not going to go out and shout from the mountaintops, everyone check out Lars and the Real Girl. But like if like I would
Hey, sure.
She was hot, dude.
But like you said, Pete, like it's a good movie to have in your back pocket. Just a warm hug. I think this is a really good movie. This is a really good date movie, I think. If you're going to have a date like at your house or
Maybe
something.
like a second
A
date.
date at your house?
I guess second or third date.
Well, yeah, a date at the house. You don't want to go out. Hey, you want to watch a movie? Let's watch Lars and the Real Girl. What's that? I'm glad you asked. It's about a guy who falls in love with a sex doll.
Why isn't this movie The Town?
That's so funny.
Yeah, just a really, really wholesome movie. As Joseph corrected me, it's not a fantasy. It's outlandish. And it's something that I think everyone would want in their life, like a small community like that.
I don't want that.
Yes, you do.
I don't want that.
Yes, you do.
I don't want everybody to know my business.
You don't want everybody to know when you buy a sex doll?
Yeah. I want to be able to buy a sex doll and nobody knows.
Okay, well, maybe excluding Joseph, everyone else would like that, like, sort of tight-knit community where there's support.
I would hate going to the store and running into everybody I know.
Why?
Because I'll like make chit chat, and I don't want to do that.
Also, don't you want to be able to buy your shame stuff in shame? You're like, oh, you're buying Oreos and marshmallow fluff, huh? Like, yes. Third time this week, huh? Yeah.
Well, yeah, but they're an asshole if they point it out.
Didn't I see you here yesterday buying the same exact thing?
I know. Drive through again?
Like, yep.
Shut the fuck up.
You keep that shit to yourself. Don't fucking say anything.
I don't know. I think, okay, well, then maybe it's just me then. I don't mind that stuff. I don't mind running into people and them saying, oh, you're buying that again? I'm like, yeah, I am. I like it. And then I would say, why are you asking?
You don't like it when I scrutinize you about how many cigarettes you smoke or
I never said that.
Boozing it up or whatever.
I never said that.
Mm-hmm.
But anyways, yeah, solid A for Lars and the Real Girl. And so now we get to the Wheel of Destiny.
You can't even drop that on me like that.
One wheel, 8 slots, three
We already know what we're watching next week.
I know, we still gotta do it.
The Wheel of Destiny.
All right, Lars and the Real Girls off the wheel. And we're not going to replace anything right now because we already know what we're watching next week.
Cyrus, my pick.
It's Cyrus!
Yay!
Yeah, again, Joseph and I watched the wrong movie last week.
Did you watch Lars and Real Girl again?
I did not know.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
I mean,
I'm
like,
surprised.
Well, I mean, I was thinking about it, but the movie stuck in my head like
Long
so
enough.
much.
The longevity of it staying in your brain.
I mean, like this movie is pretty unforgettable. So, and after watching it a second time, it impacted me a little bit more than the first time. So I wouldn't even say a little bit more, a lot more. But yeah.
Uncle Trips in the chat, he says, it sounds like you guys got a lot more out of Dear Santa than I did. He started watching it the second. No, started watching
day of, right?
Amityville in Space the day of.
Oh.
But yeah, Dear Santa, he watched and kind of like live tweeted at us and was like, "This movie is terrible."
Well,
and he also says, "I don't want anybody to watch me buy Vienna sausages ever." He doesn't want to live in a small town either.
okay. Well, you know, it's not everyone's cup of tea, I guess.
So Cyrus next week.
Cyrus, yeah.
Tell us about Cyrus, Tyler.
Why?
Why?
It's a
Why?
Well, so I've seen it once. It stars
Why, Uncle Baby Billy? Why?
Stars Jonah Hill and John C. Reilly.
And Marissa Tomei.
And it was directed by Tim Heidecker.
Nope.
No, he's in it though, right?
Nope.
Why do I associate him with
The
that
Duplass. Mark
Yeah.
and Jay Duplass.
The Duplasses.
Okay.
The Duply.
Well, I don't know why I associate that movie with Tim Heidecker, but
Because of John C. Reilly.
yeah, maybe so. I saw this movie once and I really enjoyed it. I can't tell you what it's about because I forgot what it's about, but I just remember enjoying it.
That's fair.
And it came up in my head when I had to think of a replacement, and it just so happened to be Cyrus. So I know it's about like an older son and mom that have to deal with
Jonah Hill's basically a young adult son who lives at home with his single mother, Marissa Tomei. John C. Reilly starts dating her, and then the awkwardness of him basically being a mama's boy.
Right.
And being
obsessed with his
possessive
mom.
and obsessive of his mom.
Yeah.
Almost
Okay.
like we need to talk about Kevin.
Yeah, I got vibes of that. We'll only
But
get
less bow and arrows.
But yeah, it's
100% less bow and arrows.
I remember enjoying it when I first watched it way back when. So I'm glad to revisit it.
Should be fun.
Can't wait for you to watch it.
Yeah. You guys got anything else you want to say?
No.
No.
Okay. So I just want to take a moment to ask anybody who's listening to this on the podcast stream. We had a influx of downloads in the last couple weeks from on the audio stream. Mm-hmm. If you're only listening on the audio, come over to the YouTube page. It's a lot of fun over here.
Come on, just come over.
Yeah, water's warm.
Yeah, it's nice.
We're on a mission to get to 1,000 subscribers for the channel.
Yeah.
Once we hit 1,000, we actually can make money on the channel, which is great. We've been doing this for 5 years. And before the Patreon, not a penny, income from it. And we got a great class in the Patreon. We got the cool ass yard duties. We got class clowns and new kids and all that kind of stuff. And you guys have been supporting us this whole time since the Patreon's been live. And we really appreciate that. But we want to get to a point where we don't have to get money from the listeners. We would get money from YouTube.
Yeah.
Because YouTube would just pay us for it. So we're pretty close. We're at 816 subscribers. The monetization level is 1,000. So we're almost there.
184 more to go.
Yeah. Yeah. Please help us get there. So tell your friends, tell your family, people that are podcast listeners, movie fanatics, people who just like
Anyone with a Google account.
that works too.
You can subscribe.
Yeah, if you have 5 Googles, well, do the 5 of them.
Even better.
It would be great. But yeah, it's a lot of fun over here, and we do some kind of visual stuff on the channel. So if you're thinking, why does this not make sense? It's audio only podcast. What the hell? You're missing a whole half of the show.
Yeah.
What the hell?
Plus, you can see what we look like because I sent a picture of the 3 of us to a group chat I had. We're talking about something in the podcast, and I was like, oh yeah, here's whatever. and someone goes, "That's what Tyler looks like." Timothy McVeigh. You got young Ted Kaczynski.
I like how that's what Tyler looks
yeah,
Like kind of like Tom York,
yeah.
but also not like Tom York.
Tim York.
Tim York.
He's in the York fam.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but yeah, it's a lot of fun. So, we don't really talk about that too much on the show, but it would be great if you guys were to head on over and support us on the YouTube channel. So, until next time. Thank you for joining us as we gab and chatter live on YouTube Live and as we review Lars and the Real Girl. Follow us next week as we review Cyrus. Should be a lot of fun. Follow us on Facebook, facebook.com/MCFC podcast, and send us an email, mcfcpodcast@gmail.com.
Yeah, and follow us on Instagram at Middle Class Film Class and leave us a voicemail, why don't you? At 209-283-1716.
And follow us on Twitter at Podcast MCFC and TikTok at Middle Class Film Class.
Again, it's been a lot of fun, so come on over to the YouTube channel and hang out. See you next time.
Yeah, see ya.
See ya.
Wait, fuck it. Is next dog?
Class dismissed.
I gotta get out of here.
The bell doesn't dismiss you. I dismiss you.
You're free to go.
See you next week.
See you later. See you later.
That's a wrap.
Great show.